Welcome back to the channel. Racer X here, and it is an extremely crappy rainy day here in the Tampa area, but I have finally been able to procure two different vehicles that I've been meaning to review for you guys side by side, and today is the day I actually got the two vehicles together. So rain or not, we're gonna go ahead and get this review in. It should be a fun one. I can't wait to show you these two amazing trucks. If you guys are brand new to the channel, don't forget, hit subscribe. You can do that right over here in the corner, and off we go.
T-minus 15 seconds.
And directly behind me are the two vehicles that I wanted to show you today. That is a 2023 Ram TRX, and this is a 2023 Ford Raptor R. Basically the two baddest trucks on the block right now. It is a really interesting comparison when you see them side by side. Let's take a closer look. If you are into performance trucks, these are the two that come top of mind, right? You've got the Ford Raptor R supercharged V8, 700 horsepower. Just look at the stance on this. We'll take a closer look in just a second. And then of course the Ram TRX. This vehicle has been out for a couple of years now. Bad Daddy, 702 supercharged horsepower on this truck. And just looking at the two side by side, essentially the baddest two trucks on the market in my opinion. What a statement. Look at the front of this. You can see no mistaking the fact that it is a Ford Raptor. And then of course you have the R right there in the front, letting you know that this is the supercharged V8 and not the EcoBoost. And there's no mistaking a TRX. I mean, nothing else looks like one of these things on the road. Now on trucks that are wider than a standard width F150, they make you put these three lights on there. That's just regulation. You get the same thing on the Ram TRX. You'll see those three lights right up here. Sorry guys, the rain has been wearing me out today, but you can see the front profile of these two trucks. While they're both very aggressive, they look very different. I do really like this on the Raptor R. All those pops are red. You kind of get this overlay right here on the front. This just looks really cool to me. Of course, you do see that it is supercharged, no question about that. And you get this Raptor R with that pop of red in it as well. And when you get over here to the side of the truck, man, just look at how aggressive it looks. Just kind of walk you along here and take a look. Raptor R, you can see kind of the sticker package on the side of this truck to kind of make it stand out. Looks really good. I love the headlights and the tail lights of the Raptor R. This is a very hard truck to find right now on the market. The exhaust on this truck sounds absolutely fantastic. Once again, that little bitty red Q for an R, because they do have Raptors out there that are not Raptor R's that come with the EcoBoost engine. Sorry guys, the rain is just coming down on me. And as we get over here to the TRX, you can see same kind of profile, a nice wide profile on this. You can see that the air actually comes right through the truck right here. It doesn't say TRX, although you can get the TRX graphics on the side. This one doesn't have that. Once again, a very aggressive exhaust. No mistaking that this is in fact a TRX. I want to take a look at the tires real quick. On the TRX, you get an 18-inch wheel and a 35-inch tire, and it really does sit up nice and high. I love the profile of the TRX. And then when you compare it to the Raptor R, you can see the wheel design is quite different. That's actually a smaller wheel. It's a 17-inch wheel, but a bigger tire. It's a 37-inch tire. So when you get down here and look at it from here, you can tell the Raptor R actually has the bigger tire and the smaller wheel. I think I might like the look of the TRX wheel better, but the tire is actually bigger on the Raptor R. So something else to consider there. I thought I might take a quick second and show you the shocks on both of these two Baja style trucks, because they are truly awesome. And they're actually from different companies. On the Raptor R, you get Fox shocks. I'll kind of put you in here so you can take a real quick look. Really nice shocks. And then over here on the Ram TRX, you get Bilstein shocks. And both of these highly upgraded shocks, and very, very nice. Perfect fit for these two trucks. I like these running boards that come on the Raptor R. They tuck right up next to the frame so that you don't lose any ground clearance. And they actually look quite nice, pretty low profile, but they help you get up in this big tall truck. On the TRX, you don't see the running boards, but they do have an option to actually add those to the side of this as well. So you can get the Mopar running boards, same kind of thing, but they look nice when they're actually on the truck as well. I think if I was gonna order one, I would put the running boards on there. Next, let's talk a little bit about the price of these two trucks. And as I mentioned before, this truck has actually been out for several years. We've only seen the Raptor R in 2023, and they are extremely hard to get. So when we talk about sticker price, the TRX has actually increased in sticker price quite a bit over the past several years. As a matter of fact, this fully decked out level 2 comes in right around $114,000. Now, you've got a lot of options added to this, and you can get a TRX for less than that if you can get it at sticker and you don't add a ton of options. You can actually get a pretty well-optioned TRX for maybe $95,000. You used to be able to get them for less than that. Now, a Raptor R, just the MSRP, the base MSRP is right around $110,000, and they come pretty decked out from the factory, and you can actually option these out up in that maybe 120 range. They actually have a TRX sitting in the Dodge showroom right in here that is also $120,000. So you can actually option both these trucks up over $120,000. So not exactly cheap. The engines in these two trucks are vastly different, despite the fact they put out basically identical horsepower. In the Raptor R, you get the Predator engine. It's the same engine that comes in the GT500 Mustang, 5.2 liter supercharged V8. That is a 2.65 liter blower. It is a TVS, and man, it is a serious power plant. 700 horsepower, 640 pound-feet of torque. And when you jump over here to the Ram TRX, this of course is the engine you find in the Hellcats that makes 717 horsepower. This makes 702, obviously a more restrictive intake on this. They know people are going to be off-roading these, so they don't want dirt and rocks and all that junk to be getting in there. But 702 horsepower, 650 pound-feet of torque, so slightly more power than the Raptor R, 2 horsepower, and 10 more pound-feet of torque, but they're both extremely formidable. Now, one thing that is kind of interesting on a Hellcat, say a Charger Hellcat for 2023, standard Hellcat, 717 horsepower, this makes 15 less. When you look at the Raptor R, there's actually a pretty big difference between the Predator that goes in the GT500 Mustang at 760, and of course this engine here, same exact engine, but it's detuned to make 700, so 60 horsepower difference on this one. So a vast difference between the horsepower of the GT500 and the Raptor R. I figure since I was back here, I'd give you a little cold start on both of these two vehicles. First, I'll do the Raptor R. Now the TRX. Here is the seating position in the 2023 Ford Raptor R, and it is a really nice place to sit. This truck feels very upgraded when you're sitting in it. Take a look at how pretty these Raptor R seats are with the leather and Alcantara, all the red stitching. You get carbon fiber bits everywhere. No mistaking, it is a Raptor R. Of course, you got your climate controls, radio controls, all that stuff right up here, but you got this really nice big infotainment screen here, gear selector, wireless charger. I mean, it's really luxurious. More pops of red right here, more carbon fiber. I like the way this actually sweeps down here on the door to give you a little better visibility here on the mirror. And I love the digital cluster in this. Take a look at this. Bits of carbon fiber kind of carry over right here. You get a little bit of this kind of silver trim right here. I mean, just sitting in this truck, you can tell it's pretty special, more red trim. And as you look at the back, things kind of carry over. Massive sunroof, really nice interior in the back of this truck as well. Here is the interior of the 2023 Ram TRX, and I will freely admit the interior of this truck is every bit as nice as the Raptor R. There are things I like about it a little better, and then some things not quite as well, but take a look at the pops of black and red on this level 2 TRX. Absolutely beautiful, carries on over to the back here. Huge sunroof in this truck, just like you get in the Raptor R. I like the pops of red there on the dash right here. No mistaking, it is a TRX right over here. You get that again right here. Now you get suede right here with the red stitching. Once again, cup holders almost in the same place as they are on the Raptor R. Gear selector here, very nice. Now the infotainment screen is quite a bit different in this truck than it is on the Raptor R. You can see a lot more narrow, but a lot longer, but very functional. I really do like this. It just feels really, really nice to the touch. You can see you've got your launch control mode, all that good stuff right here, paddle shifters. And I would say the digital cluster in this one is equally as nice as it is in the Raptor R. On this one, you kind of get the suede right up here, red stitching right over here. Now the doors don't sweep down, but you can see the mirror is actually located a little bit higher. But window and door controls right where you would expect. I do kind of like the pops of red in the speakers right here, but a really, really nice place to sit in this truck. I love it. Now that I've showed you around these trucks, I want to go ahead and take both of them down the road and see which one I like better when I actually get to drive it. I am now aboard the Ford Raptor R, and yes, it is an absolutely crappy day outside. The rain sucks, and if I was in a red-eye Hellcat Charger, I would not be doing this review, but both of these trucks are all-wheel drive, so it really doesn't matter all that much that I'm out here in the rain. So I want to go ahead and take the Raptor R down the road. I want to see how it drives. I want to kind of listen to it a little bit, give you my driving impressions, and then I want to hop over in the TRX and see how it compares. First off, a huge shout out to the GM of the Dodge dealership. I've been working with her for a while now. She is awesome. And this is her personal Raptor R, which she waited a really long time to get. These trucks are almost impossible to get right now. There are just very few of these things to go around. So I feel very fortunate that I was able to kind of get her personal truck here today to compare it to the TRX, because it makes for such an interesting comparison. Just take a listen to the Raptor R. Oh wow, the tip-in on this is a lot quicker than what I thought. Listen to it. All-wheel drive in the rain. I'm just tooling around listening to this Raptor R, and it sounds absolutely fantastic. I just love the way that this truck handles really, really nice. The exhaust note coming out the back is absolutely fantastic. And I realize that this engine doesn't put out as much power as the GT500, and it really surprised me it put out 60 less, but it feels like it makes a ton of power when you're driving it, and it puts a huge smile on your face. Now you think being a much smaller displacement engine, 5.2 versus a 6.2 in the TRX, it would make significantly less power, but it doesn't. Keep in mind, the blower on this one is actually bigger than it is in the TRX. 265 TVS on this one, 2.4 liter IHI blower on the Hellcat. So it does actually get the aid of a bigger blower. And boy, when you step on it in this truck, it really gets moving quick. And that's always been the thing with like the Coyotes, is they take just a minute to kind of get moving, right? It's just the way those engines are designed, and they really scream up top. But this thing has a bunch of thump down low, which is really nice when you have all-wheel drive, because it puts all that power down very effectively, even in the rain. I mean, I'm just tipping in a little. All-wheel drive, you can't mistake it. It just does not play around. And I think it is awesome that they put the Predator engine in the Raptor R. I love the EcoBoost. It's a great engine, don't get me wrong, but the driving characteristics of the Raptor R really feel completely different than the regular Raptor. Now, one of the things about the TRX that's so cool is there's no mistaking a TRX. I mean, you see one on the road, you know exactly what that thing is. With the Raptor, unless you're kind of right up on it and you can see the cues of red on it, all that good stuff, you don't necessarily know if it's a Raptor or a Raptor R. They look almost identical from a distance until you can kind of get up and you know what you're looking at. So there's that piece of it. Driving one of these, you just feel so confident on the road with the way it grabs at the road, the way it takes bumps, the way it freaking goes like hell when you step on the right pedal. And just coming off a little curve like this in the rain, I'm just kind of boogieing along. Jeez. Oh man, and it sounds so good when it does it. And it's such a unique truck. I see why people love these. Yes, I realize they are not cheap, but the driving feel of this thing is fantastic. Those of you that have followed my channel for a while, you realize I tried to order a TRX. I absolutely love the thing. I love the way it drives, the way it looks, the way it sounds, really everything about a TRX. And I've even made the argument that it's my favorite Hellcat there has been. But it really does have its hands full. Listen to this Raptor R. There's so much I really like about this Raptor R. Man, I'm gonna go get back in the TRX. This thing is gonna be hard to beat. What a great truck. I am now aboard the 2023 Ram TRX, and I will freely admit, just sitting in this truck, I just love everything about the way this truck sits and it feels around me. I really like the Raptor R as well. It's so hard to compare these two because they are both so nice. I'm just so used to kind of the way this infotainment screen is, how it's vertical in here, just the way the truck kind of wraps around you a little bit, yet it's big and menacing looking. There's so many things I have to say that are positive about the TRX, but after driving that Raptor, it's got its hands full. I will go ahead and mention the Raptor is a much lighter truck. Well, it's about 400 pounds lighter. Keep in mind, that has an aluminum frame versus a steel frame. The block itself in the Hellcat is heavier. It's an iron block versus an aluminum block in the Predator, in the Raptor R. So you get a nice big weight savings on the Raptor R over this. Yet all of the drag races I've seen between the Raptor R and the TRX, it always seems to be a driver's race. Yes, they put out almost identical power, 702 in this, 700 in that. The blower, as I mentioned, is a little bigger on the Raptor. So, I mean, there's things working for both trucks, but it kind of seems to be a driver's race. The Raptor R does tend to pull away just a little bit on the top end.
Full spin, and I'm off ahead.
Off we go. Oh. Come on.
Go on, TRX.
Go.
Oh, he's pulling ahead. Lighter car, 10-speed transmission is paying off, but not by much.
The top end of this one is only like 118 miles an hour, so it's obviously limited by the tires. And in the Raptor R, it's basically the exact same thing, like 114 mile an hour top speed. So these trucks are not made for top speed driving. They're Baja style trucks. They're made for kind of doing off-road stuff. I mean, that's just the way they're made. So let's take this thing down the road. Now, I did acknowledge the TRX had a pretty significant price jump really over the last year, but even over the last 2 years, we've seen this thing jump up quite a bit in price. I will go ahead and add, this particular one is in inventory at a courtesy Dodge Jeep Chrysler Ram in Tampa, and there's no markup on this. You can literally come and pay sticker for this today, and it's a lot of trucks. I will tell you that right now. I believe the supercharger on the TRX is a little bit louder than it is in the Raptor R, despite the fact that it's slightly smaller. These IHI blowers on the Hellcats, they make a pretty distinctive sound, and they're not quiet, which I actually really like. Not everybody likes the sound of a supercharger. I'm not sure why, but this truck sounds very familiar, and it sounds really nice. And the initial tip-in on this TRX, oh, it kind of goes, and then thump. And you are off. I love that. Just from driving the two trucks around a little bit, I will say the TRX feels slightly heavier. I actually can feel the weight in this. I know neither one of these two vehicles is light, and they both have kind of that big menacing presence. They sit up high, but this truck does actually feel slightly heavier than the Raptor R does. So I do feel that. Coming out of a corner, the TRX, here we go, a little stretch. Oh, listen to it. Good night. This thing makes a lot of racket. I really like it. I think you hear the exhaust maybe slightly more in the Raptor R, although you still hear it, but you definitely hear the supercharger more in this TRX. There's no mistaking it. I think the initial hit on the TRX, it kind of takes a minute. You really got to get down, and then all of a sudden you can feel the downshift, and it just goes like crazy. The Raptor R, it feels almost immediate. It's kind of weird just how the power comes on, in that it almost feels like it comes on a little bit faster unless you're under like a lot more load, right? Unless you got a lot more pedal down. So I don't really know. I don't want to just floor this thing. It's basically a brand new car, but I will say the tip in, see it, here it goes, down, 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 there it goes. Oh yeah, listen to it. Oh man, gosh. Yeah, I think initial tip in, just from the blip of the throttle, I want to say the Raptor R it's right there. But just listening to this supercharger under the hood, it feels like it's going to come unglued. This truck is an absolute joy to drive. It just puts a huge smile on my face. I don't even know how you pick. How do you pick between a Raptor R and a TRX? I don't really feel much difference in just overall speed. They both feel like they're really fast, especially for a big old truck. But I don't know how you distinguish between the two trucks in terms of, like, you know, the amenities on the inside. You get a lot of stuff with both trucks. Ergonomically, I would say, you know, I have my preference on the two. I kind of like the TRX better, if I'm being 1000% honest with you guys, in terms of just the ergonomics of it, just the way the truck kind of feels around me. But that doesn't mean I don't like the Raptor R. I mean, it's just really hard to decide, but both of these trucks are really fast, and I could see how when you line them both up together, side by side, how it is most definitely a driver's race. Yeah, I mean, every time I drive the TRX, I try to find things wrong with it, things I don't like, and I have a really hard time doing it. I mean, with most cars, I can kind of nitpick at them a little bit and be like, oh, I don't like this or that. I love everything about the TRX. I always have. It has not gotten any worse, except for the price. The price has gone up. That kind of sucks because it is just exactly the same truck. It just cost them more to produce it, and the sticker prices have gone up. But in terms of the driving experience of a TRX, it is wonderful. Now, if you compare it to the Raptor R, you know, performance-wise, I think they are both right there. Initial tip-in on the Raptor R, I will give it the edge in terms of just, but when you're getting down on the throttle and they're both just ripping, I think it literally is a driver's race. I don't think there's really any difference in performance of these two trucks. They both look good. They both sound good. I mean, everything about these two trucks is very desirable. I think you'd almost have to drive both of them to see which one you like better. At the end of the day, I think it just comes down to, are you more of a Ram, you know, Dodge type person, or are you more of a Ford guy? Because that is the pinnacle of these trucks, and you really can't go wrong with either one. They're great. Well, guys, that about does it for my review of the 2023 Ram TRX and the 2023 Ford Raptor R. Both these trucks are absolutely amazing. I love driving both of these two. And if you get the chance to ever drive either one, you will probably absolutely fall in love with the way these trucks drive. They're fantastic. What a crappy day it is outside to do this review, but I've been trying for so long to get these two trucks together for you guys. Let me know what you think. Which truck would you pick? Hit me up in the comments down below, and I will catch you on the next one. So until then, Racer X.